Welcome to Not Entirely Unlike Tea with Christine Collins. Hey there, it's Christine Collins, and I have a fun and easy little quickie for you today. And this one relates to moments that you may experience where you are confronted with a person or persons or situation in which you feel as though you have detractors, challenging people, perhaps someone who's been judgmental or critical of you, and it's having an impact on your self-esteem and your ability to move forward with something that's important to you. And this is more like a little practice visualization, but it came out of a very important revelation that I've had that if you really sit down and think about it, you've probably had as well. And that is something sparked a memory for me from something of about, maybe 8 to 10 years ago. And it was almost impossible for me to imagine back to that time. And even though I could remember the emotions of interacting with certain people that at the time felt very stressful to me, it has not been a part of my life in a very long time. And I had this sensation that reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, one of my favorite go-to analogies, but it really rang true, where after she's just left Wonderland and essentially woken up, and there is a deck of cards just kind of fluttering down around her, towards the end of her dream or her journey or her experience, whatever you would like to call it, she starts to recognize that the people in that experience who are detractors to her, critical of her, judgmental of her, the Queen of Hearts and others, start to resemble nothing but a pack of cards. And the card tower comes tumbling down around her until they're nothing more than flat, one-dimensional paper cards. And it's a little bit like that when we exit an experience and some time has passed. There may still be residual emotion, but the context and the situation and the people themselves begin to fade. And eventually, they become nothing more than a pack of cards. They lose all their power and all of their hold. And we see the situation for what it really is, usually some type of learning opportunity or growth experience that was painful in the moment and we wouldn't choose it, but coming out of it, it has faded into nothing more than that. And I think it can be helpful sometimes to remember back to things that seemed really important a long time ago when you were in that moment that you never think about now, that don't matter at all to you now. And recognizing the capacity for that situation or people to become flat and one-dimensional, to lose meaning, to lose potency, and to flatten down into that pack of cards, that rather harmless game that seemed very important in the moments you were in it, but afterwards barely even leave a residue. Now, I'm not saying any of this to diminish the impact of things like trauma. That's a very different experience. I'm thinking more about some of the challenging scenarios that you are in with people that are challenging, that feel larger than life to you right now, but will not always feel that way. And I think sometimes doing that little touch of future pacing, which is a visualization technique in which you can imagine a future version of you existing in a way that's different than how it is right now for you. And understanding that the current moment can seem very potent, but it will not always be so. And sometimes just that small bit of recognition can help to loosen the hold of something that is actually stopping you from moving forward with what you need or want or desire to do. It's something that you can play with on your own and visualize various different versions of future you who has already solved the problem, future you who already knows how you got yourself out of the pickle, future you that understands the reasons that you're going through the things that you are and how they will ultimately contribute towards where you're going next. And future you that may actually have some answers for how to do that or what the next step for you should look like. And playing around with visualizations like that can be extremely beneficial, understanding that time is a man-made concept, that there's the past and the current and the future. But in visualization, you can play with that timeline and go forward into a time where this has already been solved. You're already moved beyond it. It's already not powerful. The troubles and the struggles and the challenges have already lost their hold, and kind of tune into that energy and what it feels like. It can be very freeing and very liberating. So I hope this was helpful to you. And until we connect the next time, I wish you a most magical and creative rest of your day. Thanks for listening. This is Christine Collins at transformcreate.com.